months ago, I was pushing her to take more of an assertive role in being my co-host and being, a friend and a sister to me. And, I thought to myself how lonely sometimes it is. And I think those of you who have ever hosted anything know how lonely it is when you're sitting up there by yourself. And I thought to myself, like, who do I trust? Who do I feel that can really help me to carry this vision forward as well? And Simone Nicholas was one of the first people who came to mind. And I tell you, not only because of her coming to OSG, but because of her willingness at times to go above and beyond, to go and recruit the Thea Davises, the Alicia Jackals, the Michelle Sassulis, and the April Leons, and Crystal Joys, and everybody else, just as another one who bleeds OSG blue. And when I say how proud I am to stand alongside her every week, I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I know she's tried to run, she's tried to hide, she's tried to go, but I wouldn't let her go. And when I see the woman that she is and the principal she is, again, I would not change a co-host for anything. I love you, Simone. I thank you so much for standing with me for as long as you have. I look forward to continuing to do bigger and better things with you. Shout out to you and what you're doing with the Lions. And, it's not that easy. And again, I know you see it now. I know Rochelle and Marissa to see it now. When you're on the other side of that camera and you hosting, things are a little bit different. The world looks a little different. So I just want you all in this room right here to really understand how much I appreciate you all. Really, really, truly do. So thank you again, each and every one of you.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, why Dave ain't up here? Come on up here, Dave.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, this last year is going really fast. And, the reason why is because there's been so much fun in these defining times. We've had a place to go into an alternate world where people make sense and people have logic and people really want to help and people are really fly and people are really intelligent and unapologetic about who they are culturally. And I honestly did not think that this fabric existed in the educational system. I couldn't have even fathomed it. So again, Lay sends me a text to get on a Zoom. I don't even read it. I just jump on it. And I'm ambushed by things that I was not expecting, and also with intelligence I wasn't expecting existed. And it sort of showed me a new world and a hope for my culture. I'm not the only one. And there's also a lot of us. And what I watched are people that are like really humble and would rather be behind the scenes turn into celebrities and superstars and proud of it. I see autograph signers. And now I see entrepreneurs and CEOs. And now I see people that are fearless that can really tell their students, this is what you need to be looking like. This is what you need to be doing. And this is how you need to be acting, And I suggest every single time I talk to somebody, I'd be like, y'all need to just look here because it'll redefine how you look at our culture. And that's the reason why I find it important that all of y'all get showcased. So just watching the evolution and, the love, the family, like finding people that you didn't know you were related to. But once you get with them, it feels like you knew them your whole life. And what it's done for me as a father and as a person and how it's sharpened my pen as far as when I talk about things as opposed to just intuition, I got facts. I got 90 principles worth of facts at all times and validation. And the things like my son is potty trained at 4 months. I've had 5 kids. It's never happened. He's been educated since he's been in the womb and been guided by all these people that love him from afar, but it feels like you're right in the room. You've inspired my wife to write books, syllabuses, And the friendship is not just like a business thing. There's real care there. So yeah, there's a lot of tears of joy in this room. I love it. And everyone looks fly crying. And everybody's doing it for the right reasons. You know? So thank you for being a family. Thank you for evolving me. Thanks for making me a better parent. Thanks for giving me a brand new look on having a gang and a crew, you know, and what that looks like. And thanks for being my therapy, you know, for real. Because it's hard to talk to people that don't see what you see, that don't want to love, and be convincing them of that kind of taste. That's my whole life. So it's also therapeutic to talk to y'all. But watching what y'all do and watching what y'all become, it's I haven't seen anything like it. You know, I've never seen so many people just step up at such a pace at the same time. And everybody just want everybody else to win. I'm used to the crab in the barrel. But the funny thing is y'all see the crab, y'all kick him out the barrel. And I love that too. And I'm not used to that. Having us all support each other, and when y'all win, I feel like I win. When I win, y'all feel like y'all win. That's what we've always needed culturally, and that's what we have to showcase. And y'all a perfect example of that. Y'all really, really are an example for these kids to learn from. And now y'all the plug. So thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, ladies, for throwing me in the loop. Thanks for the Lions for busting my chops. Thanks for Dr. Action. And I mean, you know, thank everybody. I can't thank everybody enough. You know, Jackal, everybody. Everybody's been family on a lot of levels. It's way beyond school. The friendship game is crazy. The family game is crazy.
Before, and I'm not going to say much. I just want to, before we move on, I just want to say.
I wasn't done, Lays. You can cut me off in my speech. Nobody else got cut off. Anyway, I'm finished now. Thank you. Love y'all. Now move on, Lays.
As you know, Dave said he did not finish high school because he doesn't know the meaning of the run-on sentence. But
got the nerve. The nerve.
Let me just say this.
The idea you sold off that OSG degree you got.
Yeah, that's right. He did get it.
Exactly.
Dave is going to get the second honorary doctorate because I'm getting mine first. All right, Dave's not getting it before me. We have issues.
I already got it. I issued mine to me. I already got my diploma. I got my diploma. It's right there on my ring, on my finger.
There you go. There you go, Dave. So I want to say the idea that is OSG is almost perfect. It's a perfect idea. It's a utopia for what education is supposed to be. The thing that makes it great is you. It is, we are as strong as our weakest person. And we have no weak people in our crew. So I'm not going to stay long. I just want to say, Dennis, your vision has not been realized yet. It's just starting. This is one and done with many more to go. We have built this personality that is so strong that, I mean, you can go back and find the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and people that have really put down thoughts of how this could be. This is what the world is supposed to be. This is utopia. This is heaven on earth. And I just want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. And I can make you one promise. I've fought for lesser causes than this in my life. This cause is a pleasure. Look at me for everything that you need. All my information is yours. All my wealth of knowledge and my strength and fortitude belongs to you guys. Because we are about legacy. OSG is about legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate that. You know, Dr. Action, I put you up here as well with me. Because when we think about OSG and the transformative leadership, you know, I think back to, you know, something I talked about this morning on Laser Show. And he asked me, you know, he just throw out names and he wanted me to talk about people. And he mentioned, you know, Dr. Action. And I say to him, you know,
the amazing woman that she is, the amazing school leader that she is, was not the person she was some 7, 8 years ago. Like she struggled. She struggled as a leader. She struggled to find her own identity. And when I got the opportunity to start working with her and coaching her and mentoring her, I saw it immediately. I saw it the first day I met her, and she could tell you. I pulled her aside and said, you know, you're not gonna stay like this. I was literally doing an evaluation of her school at that point too. And after the evaluation, I pulled her aside. I was like, yo, they ain't gonna stay this way. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna help you. And I said, you're going to see and reach the greatness that is Alicia Riley. And you fast forward now to somebody who was the first one out the gate. She was the first one. No matter what you say, she's in the car. She's ready to go. No matter what, you know what I'm saying? I said to Dr. Riley, yo, we need to start doing some content for OSG. Yo, she was the first one out the gate. She did an 8-episode series of Ask Dr. Riley. She did that while being a principal, while being a mom, being a wife, being a friend. Just the other day, what's indicative of who she is when we rolled up, I said to Kiyoki down in Trenton, I said, you know, I'm going to come out and spend some time with you, you know, because I know you guys are out there by yourself. You know, Trenton is really in the boondocks in comparison to where New York is. And so I said that to Dr. Riley, and I mentioned it to April, and then I mentioned it to Smitty. I mean, listen, they literally, I didn't even finish the sentence. What time we going? Mind you, and that gave them at least 3 days notice, and I never once thought that they were going to back out, ever, not once. And we rolled up in the train like a family and spent the day with both Adrian and Kiyoki. But why I'm mentioning that about Dr. Riley is because, you know, Dr. Riley is similar to Aqua. I will tell you, the things that they do and the people that they are is no different than who everybody else should be and could be. Dr. Riley is going to always ride out no matter what. She's always going to share no matter what. If you need something, that's what Dr. Riley is about. And again, you know, I can get myself into trouble by keep bringing everybody up here to tell you about them. But the reality of it is, I know when I think about people like Dr. Riley, and I can remember where she was before and where she is now, she understands what a wounded leader looks like. She also understands what a healing leader looks like, because she's been through both. And so when I think back to that, when I think about, you know, I was also, Dr. Riley also was talking about Rochelle and how I met Rochelle. And Rochelle was an RTI teacher. And literally every time I came to the building, she would come down just to kind of sit in the room and hear what leadership ideas that I'm sharing with her principal. Next thing you know, she tells me she's a principal. Become a principal. And look at Ro now, a principal. So I could tell everybody in the room that when I reached out to you all to start OSG, what I was most impressed with, even some of the people you don't see on a regular basis because they don't always have their camera. Nobody said no. I just sent the text and people jumped on, just like Simone said. What we've grown into as a family and how we're changing lives of young people, how we're changing our community is very real. It's very difficult for anybody to have a conversation about us without us now. You can't talk about education. You can't talk about community development without trying to reach out to OSG. It's not going to happen. And I'm just telling you guys here, this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. We can think about what we've done by way of shows. Think about what we've done by way of books. Shout out to our, you know, Amazon bestseller, Principal Rob. You know, shout out to my brother Aqua Cook, who will be dropping Focus on the Love in another month or so. He's going to be a bestseller. Keisha Williams, same thing. Dr. Action, I know you got books in the pipeline as well, so that's Jackal and other people. So I'm going to just take a step back and just enjoy this, enjoy what people have to say. But I truly, in a very selfish way, want something to happen today. I want to hear what OSG means to you guys. Because I still struggle to this day trying to figure it out. But when I put it on gallery view right here, that's what OSG means to me. Is a family, a village, a tribe of people who love kids, who love the communities in which they serve, and are willing to do whatever it takes to transform lives. So, if you don't mind, Simone and Marissa, you guys can kind of take it from here and let me just kind of step back and just see the amazing things that people have to say about OSG.
How's it going out there,
I
Rob?
want to shout out our brother Mark Merrill. Today's his birthday. Shout out to you, Mark. Happy birthday. Thank you so much for being a part of OSG, for showing up and showing love. Always. Mark is always shooting me a text about something, another bright idea for OSG. So shout out to Mark Merrill. And then also to April, whose mom's birthday is today as well. So shout out to Mom.
I have a coming up. She's about to come into the camera. Hold on.
OMG, mama, go sorry,
I have her coming. I'm gonna fly it out. Let her sit.
So he held baby Dusko for quite a while.
Hi, Mama. How are you?
No, but I'm saying baby Dusko was chilling.
What is going on here?
Thank you, Jesus.
There you go. I wanted to tell you, as her mom, you've done an amazing work with her. You've done an amazing work with Principal Leon. The lives that she's changing as a principal in Coney Island, the lives that she's changing outside of Coney Island, the lives that she's impacting every day. I know you are contributing factor to that always. And you remember that day, Mom, when April, she took a tumble down those steps. And I know it put a scare on you, and I know it still scares her to this day. But she was back here with us within days. And so I thank God that He protected us and kept her from getting hurt. But I know you also too as a mom have prayed for her and continue to keep her in your prayers.
Well, all that work that she's doing, that's good. That's aprily. I gave birth to her. She's the one.
Well, you don't look too weak yourself. You don't look too weak yourself. You look like you beat up a couple of people yourself in your day. Am I going to sound right? Yeah, it's all right. We can ask God for forgiveness afterwards. Yes, we know. We know that
Oh, I don't have any shame in none of it.
Well, I do thank you, and I wanted to.
You're welcome.
I know today's your birthday, and we all want to just say happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your 19th birthday with your daughter and your family. And again, thank you for sharing April with us. We greatly, greatly appreciate you.
Thank you. God bless you all.
God bless you. Hey, April, come back in here. And Mark, happy birthday,
Who
Mark.
got teenage posing as April's mother?
How's it going, Mark?
Doing good, thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes, everyone. I appreciate it.
We know Mark can be anywhere in the world right now, but he chooses to be with us every Thursday. So, Mark, again, thank you. And I wanted to just publicly tell you how much we appreciate your presence. We appreciate your willingness to support OSG. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So, April, we know you probably got to take Mama Leon out to dinner in a little while. So, I have a little activity I want us all to engage in. As I said, I want us to be able to say in 2 minutes or less, if possible, what OSG has meant to you. What has it done in terms of transforming your life, your leadership as well? And then what are some of those experiences, like what we had the other day when we visited, Kyoki? What are some of those experiences that you remember best?
So OSG for me, means family in a way that's new to me, but seems so familiar to me at the same time. Again, anyone, Dr. Gasaway, like, he called me several times before and after his presence, because those who know me the best, Crystal is already here, Simone, for me to commit the way I've committed to OSG is not like me. I'm someone who I love easily and I give a lot, but I'm also very guarded. I've been, like I'm called the gift of discernment. You know what I mean? And I'm very careful about how I embrace people close to me. I have thousands of people who know me, and I will pick up, but yet I'm guarded with how I will allow a number of people in my space, and I've always been like that since I was a little girl. And Simone knows that. She'll see me fight on a corner for somebody fast, and I'll have no close relationship to that person except that that person needed help. But I would not let that person into my space the next day just because I fought for you or fought with you. So OSG has opened my heart and has given me a safe. It's giving me a different kind of hope for us as a people to know that everyone here, we're here to uplift and push, and that's not common. It's not common in many circles that's formed that may call themselves coalitions or groups or fraternities or sororities, and that's no shade to anybody. But this is a space where I feel loved, welcomed. I feel like who I am is not an intimidation. It's welcomed as a support. I love the competition. Dr. Action, Alicia, you guys are fire. You're not cutting me off. You're not, because I'm about to be out. I love it. Going into Anisha's space. I'm not even back up. When you guys came to my space, that was crazy. And it doesn't matter, D. If you said tomorrow, we're going to LA, Atlanta, I'm there.
What?
Seeing Kyo, he's like, you like my cousin. She felt like she knew me forever, and I felt like I know you all are family. I will fight for you.
I might need a bodyguard in South Beach. Help me out.
I got you. I got you. And that's all I can say. I'm down with you. I'm down for whatever. I believe in you that much. I trust you all that much. And I love you that much. So thank you.
April, again, before you take a seat, it's important for people to it's not often that you hear principals talk like that. And I think that's what makes us so unique. As school leaders, we understand that we're human beings too. We feel, we hurt just like everybody else, but we're willing to fight for the things that we believe in. And so, it's not strange that you and myself as well as the Lions are here, because we all do the same for you. And one of the things that's very important for me as a leader, as a school leader, as somebody who's done this work, is to be myself. And I didn't want to change who I was. And one of the things I love about this family, is always your family, is that you guys are still yourselves. You haven't changed for anybody. And so I greatly appreciate that. And, April, you weren't here on our very first meetup. And Simone, were you here the first time? The first day?
I was here the second time.
So, ladies, come on up here real quick, ladies.
Okay.
Because what's really important, Simone and April, I want you all to take a seat for a second, because we want to bring somebody special in that was here that first week with us. And so you didn't get an opportunity to see him and hear him. I'm going to invite him up right now. DJ Ralph McDaniel, you in the building?
Uncle Ralph, come on up.
It's Uncle Ralph.
Bring Ralph up.
Building.
Bring Uncle Ralph up.
Come on in here, Uncle Ralph.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Spotlight the up.
I was over here multitasking. I'm sorry.
No problem, brother. Who are in the room now? There are quite a few people that look.
That's right, he came strapped. Uncle Ralph came strapped. I like that, Ralph.
Represent. I got my flag.
There you go. There you go, Ralph.
Reached out to you and asked.
What do you think, Nicholas?
How
cute. It looks really cute. I look really good.
I think we had about 20 something tables in the room. And the fanfare that went ballistic because we all used to run around. Matter of fact, we never even saw you. I mean, most of us never even saw you on Jim.
You heard his voice.
I heard your voice. We just knew you existed. And just like the Wizard, you eventually showed your face and get to see who you were. I just want to say thank you for setting off a movement. I don't know if you recognize that when you came on that very first day with us, that it would turn into something that exceeded even my expectations. But I would not have had anybody else set it off the way you set it off. I wouldn't change anything because the moment you came on, it then let people know how real it was. But you know what else made me do, Ralph? It made me laugh because watching some of the most mature, well-educated people in the world get giddy because BJ Ralph McDaniel is in a Zoom room with us. So I just want to publicly say thank you, Uncle Ralph, man, and just, if you could just drop a word or two for us, man, about, just what the last year has been like, even for you. But like I said, I thank you so much for joining us then, and then coming back a year later to join us again.
Yes. First of all, happy anniversary, and big up to my friend Lays who invited me, my hip hop buddy for life. Invited me into the space and introduced me to Dennis. And when I met Dennis, I was like, okay, I'm in a place where I feel comfortable. I'm in a place that I'm familiar with. I'm one of those guys that I went to school and I remember being bused from the black neighborhood to the white neighborhood, and I was one of the only black kids in the school, and I knew how difficult that was, growing up. And I look at some of the black principals and leaders of our community right here in OSG, and I know how important that is for our young people. And when our kids leave the house, they're in your hands, or they're in your hands when they're on that Zoom call or whatever it is. And it's so important that we make sure that we place our young people's those tender minds in the right place and understand what our culture is all about. It's not just the color of our skin. It's the language. It's where we grew up at. It's the way we do things. It's the way our grandmothers talk to us, and understand what that is all about. And so I so appreciate this. And so when you asked me, I said absolutely. I understand it. I work with the Queens Libraries now, and I do programming. So I see a lot of young people, well, not now in the last year, but I used to see a lot of young people coming into the building, and and they would come from after school to do their work. And more importantly, for what I do at the libraries, I create hip hop programs. But I realized that it was a safe space for them to come to in between, leaving school and going back to wherever they live, because maybe where they lived at was not the best place. I had the opportunity to live with both parents in my house, but not every kid has that opportunity. So we don't know what it's like to go back to the building. We don't know what it's like to go back to the block, the hood, what colors you have to be, dealing with, and what it's like to be in the in their home, what kind of things are happening in the house. And so being in school and being at the library and spaces like that are like shelters for them, and and it's an opportunity for them kids to learn. So I so much appreciate what everybody does here. I'm a hip hop dude, I'm a TV guy, and but I understand the importance of what that meant to me coming up, And, you know, those little personal conversations that I would have with teachers or principals or, you know, whoever it was that made me say, you know what, I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on doing this. I'm going to create a TV show. I'm going to do movies. I'm going to do all of this stuff. And that's why I'm here today. It's not just because, you know, I'm the greatest person in the world, which I would like to say I am, but I'm not.
Well, you are Uncle Ralph. I mean, and to us, then you are truly, you are forever etched in the Mount Rushmore of OSG for everything that you've done, not only for our culture and our community, but definitely for what you've done for us. Because it was you who set it off. It was you who allowed us to then say, you know what, let's bring in Red Alert, let's bring in Big Daddy Kane and Chuck D and Dame Dash, to W Fresh, my song, and everybody else thereafter. It was you who set all that off. So we greatly appreciate you, man, and hope that you continue to reach out to us in any support that you need with the library, anything you're doing with video music, like anything you want to do with young people. You don't need to look no further than this crew right here to support you.
I know this crew asks for things like vendors and DOE vendor licenses and stuff like that because Ralph is a wealth of information. And honestly, the programming that's happening in hip hop is basically the blueprint of all educational programming in the future. I think it's important that we reach out to Uncle Ralph and use his wealth of information because he knows it all. And he can help a lot of you guys bridge the gap between learning and music and entertainment, as I'm doing in some of the schools now. So please, by all means, reach out to Uncle Ralph. He is my brother. He is my friend. He is my mentor.
What's happening, bro? What's happening?
Hey, come on in there. Come on in there, Dang.
Here we go.
Oh, wow.
What's good, bro?
Dame.
What's going on?
Dame Dash. Yo, let me tell you, man, Dame, I've been following you and everything that you've been doing, and so incredible and so inspiring. And, I know Dame Dash, that's my little brother right there. That's my little brother. I watched him coming up, standing in the clubs and putting his life on the line for these artists and stuff like that. And then, boom, he turns into this incredible thing, this mogul, far beyond what I could imagine. And now he does it in an independent way, and he shows you and gives you the strength to go like, you know what? I'm doing all right. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I'm going to continue to keep on doing what I'm doing. When I see what Dame does and I watch, and I listen intensely, bro. And sometimes you feel like you're on your own when you're out there doing that independent thing and you go, oh, Dame's still doing it, so I'm going to stick with it. So I believe in Dame, so I'm going to keep on doing it. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, bro. You gave me an opportunity. When we were young to get on his video show, it was that and BET, but you rather be on his joint because it was popping. And, he was accessible.
That's right.
But we had to go and talk to him, and we gave him the respect, and he gave us that real estate, and he supported us. And, that was really what made us hot initially. We did videos, it was to be on Ralph McDaniel. So the first video we did was specifically, we just need to get on Ralph McDaniel. And once you got in Ralph McDaniel, at least in New York, you was popping. He was popping. And he supported everybody, and he was there in the trenches with us. And, he's the OG. So I appreciate you, bro. And I appreciate I like the fact that I even got to make you proud. So that makes me feel good, man. Thank you. It's good that we meet up here, full circle.
Well, we come from a place where we uplift our people. It's always was uplifting, always making them go to the next level. A lot of people came in just for the money. I always recognize Dave. He's a Harlem cat and he about his bread. Don't get it twisted. But he was always about uplifting people, making them look big, look good. Don't look crazy out here. Make sure that you're looking good. And cats like him and others were the ones that were the important young executives that we had to look at because we didn't see people that looked like Dame Dash in them offices prior to that. The Russells and the Andre Harrells and the Tyrone. This was the next level, and it was even bigger. And you wanted to see how they was moving in those circles. And I always felt like, however, people say Dame is crazy, he's wilding out. And I'm like, I feel the same way that Dame feels, though. About everything. So, I appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. It's over a fun time. Remember, one thing I just wanted to just drop. Remember that show you did, and Biggie performed, and then Jay jumped out and we all performed. Do you have that video?
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
You have the performance?
Yes.
Yo, what are you doing with all of that catalog, bro? We need to play all that shit over.
hey, look, we just started. We've been licensing some of it, but we started the Video Music Box Collection.org, and the reason why I did it was because I have 20,000 hours of content, and I'm like, look, man, we have to get this stuff out of here. We have to digitize it in the proper way. Like I want to do it like like how Getty Images for Urban, and and get it out there and put it in. First of all, for the nonprofit, we're gonna put it in institutions. We're gonna put it in OSG so they can look at it. But then we get it out to the rest of the world, and we license and we do whatever we do. But we need to do it in the right way. So we started that in last year around this time. Nonprofit official, and we got it out there.
But what's up with the doc in the movie?
Oh yeah. Oh well, I wasn't gonna say it, but we do have a situation right now. I wasn't gonna say because it's the thing. We don't talk about it till the ink is done. So but it's 99% there. But we had 20,000 hours of content, thing.
But so like if I were to say, I'm the moderator. I'm sorry. Clubhouse. Shout out to Clubhouse.
We need to continue this conversation, Ralph. Uncle Ralph, I love you, brother.
Yo, let's connect. We got to talk. I want to talk to you.
But I was saying, okay.
Ladies, give my info so we can. Thank you.
I'll connect everybody.
See, that OSG brings everybody thorough together. I love OSG. OSG is a thorough magnet.
Ralph to OSG.
OSG is a thorough magnet.
Uncle Ralph to the world, but to us, you are Godfather Ralph McDaniels. Because you set it off. You are the Godfather. There you go. Thank you, Godfather Ralph McDaniels.
Thank you. Happy anniversary, everybody.
Hope we got the right one. All right, bro.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.